super excited. I think it's so amazing that Markets Media is doing this. They've only been doing it for 4 years, and to see it turn out like this, even when it's snowy outside, is absolutely incredible. I don't think there's one necessarily pivotal point in your career. I think it's about what you've done throughout the whole thing, but it's the importance of constantly stopping and thinking, are you happy where you are? Do you want to make a change? And then actually actioning those steps. And then also saying, like, you know, you have choices along the way. Some are forced and some are chosen, but each one of those movements helps shape a career, and it's important to continually reassess to make sure that you're relevant, that you're being creative, that you're innovative, and then constantly questioning where your overall business is going in this environment. And that's what's been big for me, is just looking at everything. For me, being a woman in electronic trading, I always equate it to it's like feeling like you're the one showing up to the costume party with the costume, but it's not really a costume party. And so you decide, do you stay or do you go home? And for me, I chose to stay. And I think the important piece is that we continue to have more people choose to stay. What you realize along the way is that people want to talk to you. They want the different ideas. They want the innovation. And you offer that and bring that to the table. And we need to make way for everybody else to start to do the same thing.
Oh, I feel so excited. And, you know, I have been in this industry for about 12 years, right? So, and having this award is like, you know, really marking a milestone in my career. And, you know, I'm a statistician by training or by education. And I'm also a trader by, you know, experience. And which form a, you know, very unique and advantageous foundation for my electronic trading career. And, you know, that's why I have been doing this for so long, and I'm still so excited. You know, as I said, I'm a statistician, right? So I actually studied statistics at Purdue University in my graduate years. After graduation, I got a very, you know, a good job on the pharmaceutical industry. And I worked in the world's largest pharmaceutical companies, including Pfizer, Merck, and Novartis. The job was stable, but you know, turned out to be a little bit boring after a while, at least to me. So I decided to go get an MBA to go work on Wall Street. So that's why, you know, after 1 year at Cornell University, I graduated with distinction, and I got 9 job offers. Yeah, so, but I chose to go to Deutsche Bank and to become a portfolio trader in their Hong Kong office. So that's how my Wall Street career started. So fast forward to you know, 2010, I got a job offer from JP Morgan to be their head of Asia linear quantitative research team. So I took that offer, and you know, within 4 years, I was promoted to be the global head of algo quant research, and got relocated to their New York headquarters. But you know, I'm also I'm always trying to challenge myself. So I didn't stop there. In 2017, the unique opportunity to build the electronic trading platform at Cantor from ground up drew me to Cantor Fitzgerald. And this type of opportunities do not come along very often. So I have this great honor to work with a team of exceptional electronic trading professionals to challenge the status quo and to build the first-class electronic trading product from the ground up and for our, you know, each of our clients. And that is the exact definition of the precision algo platform. I'm so proud of what we have achieved as a team at Cantor Fitzgerald. So women, you know, companies with more women leaders actually do well financially. You know, that's what the statistics show, right? So it's the reality. So I want this message to be passed along to young women who are just entering the workforce so that they can feel more comfortable about themselves. And also, you know, I do have some like top 3 advice that I want to share with young women. First, it would be, you know, build your brand, right? And it needs to be rock solid. So, for example, you are always, you know, referred to as the person who always gets things done and always with high quality, right? That would be a rock solid brand. So you want to build your own brand. And then second, I would say that you want to be the most prepared in the room. You want to be always to be the most prepared in the room. And I think that will boost your confidence level and also make you to become more assertive in your messages. And the last one, but not the least, is seize the opportunity when you are presented one, or even better, raise your hand when you see an opportunity, because people tend to stay in their comfort zone. And but I want to encourage the young women, to really dare to step out and also disrupt life as you know it, right? And believe me, remarkable things will happen.
It's always really impressive to be surrounded by women who are so passionate about their roles and are contributors to the firms they work for. So it's a great evening. Thinking through all the different policies and procedures we have around women who work. This actually goes for diversity more generally. But I focus a lot on policies like maternity leave or flexible working. At Credit Suisse, we were actually able to change the policy for maternity leave from 12 to 20 weeks in the United States. And that's really about allowing women to feel more flexibility in terms of how they come back and when they come back, and hopefully, keeping women through the ranks as they get promoted. So there are a few structural things that we have to do in order to make it kind of a more level playing field for women. But secondly, I think there's a number of social issues, and that's where I would categorize things like mentorship and sponsorship, where we have to be really structured and programmatic about thinking through how we give women the relationships and the insight and kind of the access to the power networks. And so, again, at Credit Suisse, we've been pretty specific in how we've done that. We've created specific sponsorship programs to get women promoted to managing director and to director. But a lot of times that's actually just creating some relationships where you can actually facilitate that momentum. And so, there's a fine line. You can't force all of that, but I think that's really creating the imagination for both women and men on what the opportunities women should have and can have should be. The Young Global Leaders Program is a community organized by the World Economic Forum. And so every year they bring in together a new group of about 100 people from all over the place, from Africa, from Australia, from Asia, from the United States. And I was lucky enough to be selected last year, and basically they bring us together as part of the WEF, and we think through some of the biggest challenges that the world is facing. Things like financial inclusion, the role of women in society, and it's really meant to tackle the big issues. And so in some ways it's it's a child of the WEF, it's little WEF, but it's a group of really like-minded people that really care about their community and are inspired to do more to kind of help others and to think through how to make the world a better place.
Fantastic. It's really exciting to be part of the evening. I feel very honored to have won the award. I feel like, a lot of work has gone into it, so it's very exciting. I've had quite a diverse career over the last 20 years, predominantly in financial services, but from working in a startup environment through to large corporations, I think has given me experience across quite a broad range of styles of working. And I think one of the biggest things is to be flexible and open and to be able to work with very different people who have themselves very, very different backgrounds. And I think that remaining really open and collaborative and really listening to what people are saying and adapting to the environment and to the markets has been a huge part of what I've had to do over the last 20 years. So marketing communications is a really, really broad sort of area of expertise. And certainly in financial markets, you have to be prepared every day to work with people who won't necessarily understand what the value is, honestly, of marketing and communications. And one of the really big things that I've learned is you have to be prepared every day to educate people and to prove to them that there is real value in what you do. And that's about showing what return on investment is, proving to them that there is real value in investing in that, because their expertise is finance. Their expertise is not marketing. So I think going into financial marketing is quite different to going into like a consumer marketing role. But you work with some incredible people, really bright. It's a really dynamic industry and there's so much happening. And for me, that's been probably one of the most interesting things.
Oh, I think it's just amazing that we can actually fill a room right now. To think about 40 years ago when I started off in the industry and there were two of us on a trading floor of 400, it's really pretty extraordinary that now women don't think about these things. They don't think about where, what they can actually do or do they fit in. They look and direct themselves to actually how they can actually achieve and deliver to the financial services industry. And I think that that's really extraordinary. And if you look around the room, there's young and old, and that's the real differentiator, that we're all here together. And the path that we've all taken is really important to that. So it's a great event. I had the real privilege of working at a large institution that really adapted to change well. But that being said, there's really an extraordinary energy that comes from a really close, smaller, single-minded, where you've taken a talented team, you've handpicked the right people to actually deliver on the vision of the company. And I think that all of that, where there's not competing agendas, there's not the resource constraints, the timelines that we all have to deal with, no matter how innovative a company believes that they are, when you're actually looking at an innovative and small organization, an agile organization, where all the decision makers are in the room all the time, there's nothing that can compare to that. And I love the fact that I have been able to capitalize on the past experience to actually bring that to fruition in a smaller organization. It's just been a phenomenal achievement for me, but also a testament to the organization that, as a woman, that I'm working for one of the strongest and most extraordinary women in the industry, and Susan Ness is my CEO, that I can deliver to that. And that's, I can't compare. Women now don't necessarily have to decide or think about the fact, can I make it in this male-dominated, the bastions of Wall Street society? They actually say, what part of it do I want to be in? And they know what good looks like because there are women there that they can actually look up to. And having, again, being in it for 40 plus years, I didn't know how to navigate. But I think that the difference is that women have stopped being mentors and actually they've started to actually kind of support women and actually be their supporters to actually put them forward and actually help them go. A mentor kind of tells you, look at what I did, I was great. But if somebody sponsors you and puts you forward and challenges you to deliver, and I think that women are finally understanding that that's what it's going to take for us to really get to where we need to be.
I have to say I was a little shaken when I went on on the podium and a little surprising, but it's great energy, and I don't feel like a trailblazer, but I appreciate the recognition. And I guess I've had a long career so far in finance. It's interesting. I really entered the field just because I love the markets and I loved investing. So synthesizing large amounts of information in order to express views on the market was fascinating to me. And the buy side was definitely the right place to do that. So I transitioned almost directly to the buy side rather than going through a typical sell side career path. And in general, I was fortunate enough because there's probably kind of three major themes within my experience. One of them is meritocracy. So I was fortunate to be part of firms where you get recognition based on your capabilities and your contribution. And it didn't matter whether you are a woman or a man. They always recognize just the best talent. And that was true at McKinsey, at Bridgewater, at Blue Mountain, at Citadel. And I always thrive in those environments. So one advice would be, wherever you look, just think about meritocracy and whether you can find a field like that and remove the subjectivity of it. The second part, really, as a mom of 3 kids, is I really valued flexibility. So with technology, we've made great strides in being able to do that. So being able to log in remotely or be present whenever it was not possible to be there in person was incredibly important, and that would not have happened without the support of the companies that was part of. And I think it's key for women who are mothers and working mothers as well. And then lastly, kind of the biggest thing is mentors and sponsors, right? for me, I could not have done what I did without the mentorship and sponsorship, both of men and women. And then many times they pushed me to take challenges when I felt like I wasn't ready for them. I think that's one thing. Always surround yourself with people who admire and who support you through your career. But I would love to see more number of women in the hedge fund industry because it's an amazing job. It's stimulating. The hours are predictable, and also it's very black and white with regards to your contribution. So that would be my advice and hope for a lot of women. There's a lot more conversations that are happening about both increasing the pipeline of women that enter the hedge fund workforce, as well as how we retain them. And so you've seen a lot of bigger funds like Citadel think about, well, what are the things we need to do in order to attract women? So they start from the early ages, looking even into colleges to have a more robust pipeline. And then the other big thing is supporting the advancement of women through network events, through flexibility in the workforce. We recently established the women networking function that helps connect women across the offices as well as across other firms. So that's been incredibly helpful as well.
This is a fabulous event. It's great to see so many women being recognized for all of their accomplishments in financial services. It's long in coming and it's well deserved. I started my career at Merrill Lynch and then Bank of America Merrill Lynch, transitioned in 2012 to DTCC, which is a much smaller organization. It's been great to make that transition because I can see the impact of what I do every single day. Work as part of a team that is very collegial, and together we really advance the role of a market infrastructure in the community and in financial services. I've been really fortunate. I've been working in financial services for over 25 years, and one of the things that has been really wonderful is hard work, mentors, and having sponsors along the way have really helped me sort of define my own role within financial services. And if you work hard, if you always do the right thing, and you just make sure that you have a point of view, you can really define your own career no matter what industry you're in or no matter what role you play in that industry.
I didn't make it to the event. I feel like it's part of what drives a lot of these people here. You just make things work. Sometimes it doesn't work out as planned. I have spent 15 hours of the day flying here, and I'm very excited. I feel like in the industry, there's a lot of talk about recognizing women, but it doesn't necessarily come through all the time. And I feel like a lot of the women in the room today are actually legitimately very senior women who have done a lot for not just women in general, but the industry. So I'm excited and surprised to be included as part of this group. So I got into finance unplanned. I'm an immigrant. My parents stereotypically wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer, knew nothing about finance. And I had kind of some trials and tribulations trying a little bit in each of those sectors. And I think I just took risks and I said to them, I tried this, I don't like it. Let me just continue on path where I feel like I'll be successful. And so I ended up in finance maybe 10, 15 years ago and have kind of changed courses a little bit between each job. But I think, I've been in a position that empowers me where I feel passionate about it. And I think that's the most important thing. I never thought in my head that I wanted to work in finance, that I needed to make X amount of money, but it was more about a position that suits kind of what drives you. So it's weird for me. I mean, I've been in the industry for 20 years, and it's when you say role model and mentor, I feel kind of modest, and I don't want to consider myself as that. But I think even to peers, just kind of being positive, and instead of being in a situation and complaining, it's more about solving problems. There's always going to be problems, and working as a team. And I feel like a lot of, not necessarily women or men, but just people in general today don't strive to that. And it's when you have that mentality where you're trying to fix solutions or trying to figure out how to do things better for the future, you get places faster. And that goes across any industry. It's not specific to finance, but it's having a positive attitude. But to get that attitude, you need to be doing something that drives you, that you're excited about. And then just solving problems and helping other people get their job done too. I feel like it's just as basic as that. I know it's kind of crazy, but that's, for me, the basic foundation of how to be successful.
I'm absolutely overwhelmed. The event tonight was just a wonderful opportunity for networking and meeting women that I admire deeply, and also to catch up with people that I've worked with in the industry for several years now. So it was just an absolutely wonderful event. My advice to a woman who is coming out of college and thinking about a career in investment management is really to put aside any self-doubt. And a lot of people worry that they have a lack of experience or a lack of direct, relevant skill set. But what I would say is that a lot of what we do can be learned. So with a lot of hard work and primarily with a passion for the markets and a passion for the industry, they can be successful. So finding a good mentor and somebody who can really help navigate the career is what is most important for being successful long term. I started my career as an engineer, and I did Six Sigma and was a master black belt for several years. And the thing about Six Sigma is that it's very much of a data-driven methodology. And so as I moved into investment management, there are a lot of overlaps because it's about trying to reduce defect opportunities. So really trying to make sure that you're doing things with a risk-minded attitude. So when you move into investment management, you see that there are a lot of sources of data for you, that you have market data, you have benchmarks and your own portfolio holdings, and you have that through time. So having that available to you allows you to do stress testing and back testing, and really to make sure that the risks that you're taking are the intended risks that you want in your portfolio. And you can really look at tail events. So in engineering, when you're designing something, you want to make sure that you understand how something can fail. And very much the same thing is true in investment management, where you want to understand where a portfolio can return undesired returns and try to avoid those.
I feel great. I want to thank Marcus Media for this opportunity, for the award. It was really an honor to be with all the distinguished women on the list, and to also meet new women today who are doing fantastic in our industry. So it's a real appreciation and honor to be here. I started in the business at UBS. I was a sales trader at UBS. Then I joined Goldman Sachs for 7 years as a sales trader as well. And then I joined Societe Generale 7 years ago, where I revamped the sales effort and became a manager. And over time, I've been able to build businesses. And so currently I'm the head of global execution services for the Americas. It's been a fantastic journey and definitely more to do. And I have to be very grateful for all my clients. It's who I service and enjoy, and I'm very appreciative of my team. I wouldn't be here without my team. And really, lastly, it's all the mentors and coaches in the business that have guided me throughout my career is also the reason why I'm here tonight. So thank you for everything. I encourage women to come into finance. It's a very challenging industry, but it's very rewarding as well. Certainly, we need more women in our business, in particular on the trading floor. And I would definitely encourage women junior women or even mid-level women that are in other industries that want to look into finance. I think what we do is great, and I definitely encourage that.